Welcome, sir, and the stage is all yours.
Hey, hi everyone. Good evening, and it's really great to see so many people over here. Uh, so actually, this C stands for Chaki. My entire name is Ayan Chaki, and I'm the Vice President of Data Labs. So Data Labs is a in-house data science department in HDFC Life, hosting around more than 100 data scientists, and we build solutions primarily catering our customers and our employees as well. Right. So I will try to focus more. I will try to bridge between the business and the technology, and will try to take you through the journey that we are doing in the customer service space and how GenAI is helping us in that. Okay. So maybe I will start a little bit. I will go a little bit back on time, and we'll try to understand that how the entire evolution has happened from the AI space, right? Uh, if you look into the stuff, it is not something which is new, but the adoption is going more and more nowadays. The reason behind that is obviously the first thing is coming into the computing power. The second stage, which is very important, is identifying the correct use case. From the business point of view, that's very important. Whatever technology you use, I mean, be it Gen AI, be it traditional AI, be it predictive analytics, descriptive analytics, anything that you use, finally, the motto is to solve a business problem. We need to find a solution around that, right? Now, if you look into the time frame, the AI journey was not the smooth. During my college days, I am passed out of early 2000 from IIT. So during my college day, hardly any company in the AI space, they come for campus, right? And I remember at that point of time, the neural nets which were available, primarily like back propagation and the other stuff. I remember even the tools like MATLAB, if we run around 100 epochs, it takes overnight, right? In the evening, we used to run the program, go back to the hostel, come back in the morning, and the results would have been there. There is a time in 1984, if you see, right, there is a term which is called as AI winter. Now, at that point of time, there was already a very big question mark on the future of AI, that whether it is going to at all evolve, whether is it going to be real at any point of time. So the funding has very much reduced at this point of time. The companies are losing in interest. Then comes your early 2000, where the cognitive computing phases has started evolving, right? And with the deep learning coming into place, the AI has really started showing its power. It has started to bring the benefits it is supposed to do. Now, the transition in the last 15 years was very, very fast. Especially if you look into the last 5 years, right? After the Gen AI space has evolved, the enterprises like the erstwhile enterprises where the data security is one of the predominant important stuff, like, because we deal with a lot of personal information of our customers. So that becomes very important, and to cater the millennial and the Gen Z population, right, which is in India, the prediction is that 50% of the population by 2030 will be in this particular category. There's your Gen Y or the millennial and your Gen Z category. Now with that, the responsibility is now on the enterprises to use the power of AI or Gen AI, or in the futuristic point of view, the agentic AI, and to take it to a phase where the customers can have a seamless journey, not only at the time of onboarding, but even at the time of the customer service as well. Okay. So coming to the next one, the next slide, this is the type of transition, right? If the earlier slide, I've shown you the time frame. But from the technology point of view, or the term point of view, if we see, we started with the cognitive AI, right, where predominantly there were four major components: the sense, comprehend, act, and learn. Then come the generative AI, so with the decoder part being evolving a lot, the open space, the open source space being evolving a lot. It comes the generative AI phase, right, where It is able to generate not only the text in a very specific way, but also the images and the audio to some extent. The next phase or evolution that we are slowly stepping in is agentic AI. And this is something which will actually bring the real power of AI. Till now, what we do, what we are doing, we are actually using AI or the ML stuff to primarily get the insight, right? But how to do a end-to-end transformation? How to build a system where you just need a certain input and the entire catering of the information to the customer can be done in a minute or a second's time without any manual intervention, right? So primarily that is something that we are doing today as well. But if you see the last mile connectivity between the AI and the legacy systems that all the enterprises have, those are primarily done by RPA, right? So the RPA are again a very much rule based, right? It doesn't learn of its own. The way you program it to be, the way it function in that particular way, right? But if you can think of an intelligence RPA, with some sort of, maybe you can think of NLP over there, you do a voice command, your RPA will learn, your RPA will train, and it will act as per your own dictation. That becomes the real power of AI. And that is where your agentic AI is finding a lot of traction now. Okay? It's a very initial stage now. There are a lot of big techs or the deep techs, companies like Google and Amazon, etc. They're building a lot of framework around that. But eventually, this is going to be, this is going to be coming very fast. It will not be surprised if this space is becoming as much as like the generative AI space in the next 2 years. But what next, right? We have seen the evolution from 1950s. It's not going to stop. It is only going to evolve more and more. The next phase probably will be AGI, or the artificial general intelligence. It's too early to comment in this particular field for now, because it is more of how we can interpret what exactly AGI is bringing in. There are all the big techs or the deep techs, they are spending a lot, billions, to look into that what exactly is coming in the AGI space. But we should hold us on and we should look into that what's there in the future. Now, what is the impact, right? What is the impact of Gen AI, not only in case of the any insurance industry, be it life, general, medical. I've seen a lot of people here from the insurance space. But overall, what is the impact, right? If you look into the generative AI, primarily all the different use cases that we do, okay, it evolves under 3 main headings. One is your summarization. So whatever we take the content, be it from text like email, be it from text like your chatbot or other bots output, we need to summarize that. Summarize and give a meaningful insight which can be useful for to know your customer well. And more you know your customer in a better way, better will be your service to the particular customer. So that is one thing that your Gen AI does. The second thing that your Gen AI does is the generation. Obviously, that's a generative AI, it will generate. But how it is useful for the customers, right? Suppose someone is coming to, or someone is pitching you a life insurance policy, who is in a category of, who has born somewhere around 2002, right? We have just joined the organization. And the pitch has to be very much relevant to the particular person, right? It cannot be a very generic pitch. The same person, when they're pitching to another individual who may be somewhere around mid-50s or maybe mid-40s or maybe early 40s, right, with kids and with a family, the pitch or the offering should be different over there, right? So the generation of the pitches in a automatic fashion, which will help the sales fraternity to sell the correct product to the correct individual, here is one more category of Gen AI, and that comes under the generation category. The third category, which is largely used, and most of the people are working on that, but where the chances of hallucination are most, and where the chances of getting damage due to hallucination are most are the Q&A. Right? Hence, all the different type of rack framework, all the different type of guardrails which are there, starting from the NVIDIA guardrails which are there, which are quite common and open source. The NEMO framework must be many of you are working on that. They give a lot of precaution and prevention around those type of Q&A systems, where it prevents hallucination to some extent. It prevents giving incorrect information. It reduces the biases, right? Which are very, very important aspect for all the GenAI cases that we are solving, and even the industry, the enterprise. I mean, if you see now also the enterprises are very cautious about using GenAI. Right? Primarily, the GenAI nowadays also is getting used for your internal usage, not for the interacting with the direct customers. The only reason is that how to prevent the hallucination, how it can be a foolproof stuff. Okay. So as I was talking about the risk, right? Risk and the human oversight. So it's very important to have a human in loop. You can do the automation. So suppose one of your tasks was doing around 100% manual around 5 years back. You can automate the entire task to maybe 70%, 80%, but still you need 20% of human intervention over there. Once that human intervention has been taken care of, your agentic AI will be in full swing. Right? So human oversight and risk are a very important part in case of any GenAI system that you design or develop. Now, from the human point of view, again, from the life insurance industry, if you look into any sort of insurance industry, it's a very regulated industry, right? So why? Because again, a lot of customer information are there. I mean, I'm sure many of you have your life insurance policy. You know the total journey that you have gone through, the total documents that you have given, and I will explain that in the next slide. So those documents has to be prevented, and adequate precaution has to be taken care of that is not going to the wrong hands. Right? So it's not like that anywhere we can use whatever way we want to do, like when you even do from the developers community, when you do a sort of development, then you are free, right? You can use any of your tool, you can use ChatGPT, you can use maybe Gemini, you can use even the DeepSeek as well. But the problem is the enterprise cannot do that. Okay? They have to take proper precaution before using those type of tools. The reason is again the same. Majority of the models now also is not in the Indian geography. And as per the regulators, you have to use the model in a way that the data is not going off your own geography. Right? Though many of the things like the OpenAI, etc., they are now launching in some of the data centers in India as well. But still, it is not foolproof. So proper precaution has to be taken care of. If it is your private cloud or if it's your cloud with a proper VPC over there, definitely you can use it. But from an enterprise point of view, we need to take adequate precaution for that. Right? So if you look into the customer journey, right, in life insurance, what type of customer journey we do? So it starts from the onboarding stage. So forget about the part which is there on the left side. You concentrate on the right side, the data points. The data points that we take. All these things are unstructured data, right? You take KYC document, we take Aadhaar card, we take videos, right? I mean, the system, we have a in-house developed facial recognition tool as well, and then completely developed with our own team, where it takes care of the customer validation from the very beginning. From their onboarding stage, we have a tool which is called video check. So whenever a customer is getting onboarded, we send a link to the customer, so the customer can click that link. They can take a 15 seconds video captured on a web app or a mobile app, and that video get uploaded in the cloud. It get recognized with the KYC document which is there, which the customer has submitted at the time of taking the policy, and it gives a green check mark that everything is done. The the journey get automatically completed in the legacy systems that we have, and the turnaround time by this type of systems has reduced significantly, right? So I'm just giving one of the example, the way it is getting automated in the customer onboarding phase. There are multiple other stuff with a lot of APIs which are after the Digital India initiative, right? There are a lot of APIs which are getting exposed by the government of India as well, through which we can connect through different databases, we can extract the information, we can do a lot of validation over there. Right? So this everything is taken care of in your customer onboarding journey. Then comes the customer servicing, which is a very, very important part. And all the, I mean, if you all know about the different type of metrics on which a life insurance company is judged, one of the very important metrics is that how many customers are complaining. And it's very minutely observed by the regulators. Right? Now, in the customer serving space, once you, and life insurance, why I'm saying again and again, it's not like every year we change. Okay, it's a long-term commitment, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. Term policies that would take even 30 years. Right? So at different stages, we need to give a very proper customer service, whether the individual through whom you have purchased the policy is there in the system or not, the servicing should not be impacted. So what we do, we have a lot of chatbots which are there. Primarily, again, as I told, that because the hallucination and the other problems are still there, it is driven by NLP, the traditional AI, but through the bots, through our call center, through the email interactions, etc., we cater the customer. Now, what we are getting through it, okay? We are getting a lot of data. When you call to a call center for certain query, we understand that there is a human being who is probably talking to you. Sometimes they are able to give a proper answer, sometimes they're not, and they come back in the later in the form of email, etc. But what we are getting through it is what you are trying to convey to an organization, to an enterprise. And believe me, that's the asset that as an enterprise we all have, right? We have to understand what you are trying to convey to us. What is the complaint, or is there any help or support that you need from us, right? And here comes the power of GenAI. It is not possible to handle all the customer calls by a human. It is not possible for them to write what exactly a customer is saying. It is not possible to do a transcription over there in a manual way. Now, suppose you have a STT, or you have a lot of speech-to-text engine nowadays, you have even the open source whisper model, etc. You use some of them, you convert it into a text. Then what? Then you need to understand, right, what exactly is the customer is telling to you, what exactly they are trying to convey to you. You got the data, the next step is that you need to get the insight. And there the GenAI part is coming very handy. Right? It collates the information from the call center, it collates the information from email, etc. And it tries to give a consolidated insight about the customer. Okay. After that, once you have completed your entire premium payment of maybe 10 years, 12 years, whatever is the duration, the most important phase comes where you will make claims, right? Or you will be given payout by the enterprises. Now, then again, you are not in a mood to again fill up maybe 10 pages of documents, maybe sending n number of information to the enterprises to give your money back, right? Hence, the entire journey is automated in a multiple way, with the help of the KYC authentication, with the help of penny drop, right? To analyze that if your bank account is active or not, with the help of understanding if in case of any unfortunate death of any of our payees, right? We need to get the death certificate. Now with the Digital India, that is also getting centralized. Okay. So with all this thing, the entire customer journey landscape in the enterprise space is going to change. It's already changing. There's a huge change which has happened. More changes likely to be coming maybe in the next 5 years. You will see a huge transformation over there, right? I spoke about majority of this point, right? Enhanced underwriting. Now, underwriting is a very important stage. Now, underwriting, the underwriters in the insurance are the one of the pillars, right? They decide that what is the risk associated with the individual. The risk can be medical risk, the risk can be financial risk, right? So hence, many of the times they will send a potential customer for a physical medical test where you will visit a diagnostic center. A lot of your test will be done. Now think of a system where you need not go to a physical medical center. You just have to capture your some maybe 30 seconds, maybe 60 seconds video, upload it. And everything, your medical vitals will come automatically with the help of your facial videos, right? Starting from your BP, starting from your BMI, to some extent, other heart diseases, cholesterol level, etc., can be. I mean, now there are technology where it is again not foolproof for the time being, but it is as accurate as 70 to 80%. And a lot of companies in India are working on that. From the abroad point of view, Israel is one of the pioneers in this particular space. Okay. So this is a platform. This is a platform that we have developed in HDFC Life from scratch, completely on open source stack. And this is the platform which is catering all the Gen AI applications, or I will say majority of the generative AI applications that we are using in HDFC Life. Now, the question can be that why we need to build another platform when we have so many stable systems around, right? The only reason is again the same, that we need to be absolutely sure about customer data. Till the time it is there in our CC system, we are okay. The time it is going out, we are still okay if we are using some model which is under in the Indian territory. But if it goes out, there is a big question mark and we will be not able to use that. So we started this around 2 years back to build the platform. If you look into the architecture over here, you can see from the infra point of view, we use our in-house GPUs, right? Again, the question will come to why we want to use the in-house GPUs. Because there are a lot of compute which is enabled by AWS. There are a lot of compute enabled by Google and the other big techs, right? The reason is the cost. So we cannot just like that use any of the compute for any of the application. And that's one of the major thing that you all have to be take care in the future as well when you will work for any of your system developing for an enterprise. Suppose you are running a system 24/7, right? And the system needs something like that, maybe a Llama 3.2, 7 billion model, or maybe your more bigger models, right? It needs a huge compute, right? In that cases, if you use any of the GPUs which are available, for example, A100s, which are there from with AWS, the cost will be much more, right? Because the utility will be not that extent. I mean, probably the peak time will be something around morning 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock to evening maybe 9. But because it is a live system, because it is given to your customer, you have to make it live. So there has to be a trade-off done over there, that what type of systems you really want to use the GPU of any of the hyperscalers, for what kind of system you will probably like to use some of the utility or maybe your own on-premise GPUs, which can be of lower cost. Then coming to the Gen AI models, right? We use all sort of models which are there. I mean, starting from, as I told about the llamas, right? The llamas of the world, falcons, Whisper, BART. So all the models which are there in the open source stack, starting, probably provided by the frameworks like Hugging Face, like LangChain, etc. We use those frameworks and we build the system. Again, the question is that why not the best of the world? ChatGPT is there, right? Why not those? The answer remains the same. Okay. Till the time we are sure that the data is with us, no issue. The time that we feel that there can be a question mark where the customer, where we are dealing with the PII information, we try to use whatever is there available in open source, which is deployed in our own cloud. Okay. So then come the model inferencing. Now, suppose you are using a 70 billion parameter model. Okay. Do you really need that? Do you really need that to solve a smaller problem? Probably not. Then what do you do? But again, you cannot use the, probably for that particular use case, you will be not able to use a 8 billion model. What do you do? Probably we do quantization. Okay. There are frameworks around that. We use a lot of LoRa framework, which is your low rank adaptation. Okay. So there are a lot of stuff that you can do to probably use your, to optimize the compute, to optimize the model to only work on that particular use case. The other two steps are again very important, especially the last but one, which is your Gen AI governance, where again from the enterprise point of view, the data cannot go out. So we have a very robust information security system in place, who looks into, we have a lot of tools around that, which looks into what type of responsible AI we can put over there, what are the biases that we can control, if there is any data drift happening, what type of framework we should have around that, right? And then we have from the application side, we have the Gen AI apps, which are developed to cater the different departments. Some of the apps are of horizontal category, which can be used across the organization. For example, a sort of chat framework, enterprise GPT. Whereas some of the things are very specific to solve or cater certain business problem, which are vertical specific, right? Which are your, maybe HR wants some sort of facility. Maybe HR wants to shortlist the resumes in a very shorter time span. Okay, for one position, suppose they are getting 1,000 CVs. Now they want to have a very reduced turnaround time within a day. They want to do it. With a manual effort, that takes a huge amount of effort, a huge amount of time. With Gen AI, just a couple of minutes. It will give you the score, which are the highest probable CVs over there. Give it to the HR, they will do the remaining work. Okay. So the key innovations over here, I will not say innovations, I will say key features over here. The most important is the last one, strict data security protocol. So why I'm emphasizing more on the data security part is because when you will be developing any system or solution for an enterprise, you will see that this question will come every time. How secure is your CC system? Be it a regulated industry, be it a sort of maybe retail, be it again, healthcare is a very regulated industry. So unless and until that problem is solved, the adoption will be very difficult to achieve. We'll skip this one. So what is coming next? Okay. Now, currently, if you look into from the generative AI side, the maximum utilization or the maximum usage you will find in text. If you look into the audio also, the audio is converted into text and then you take a lot of action around that. In the last presentation, I was listening about the speech to speech. And that is actually something which is going to really come very soon, and it will have a very broader acceptance, right? Because it is solving your entire problem from end to end, right? So agentic AI, I explained around it, that how it is going to evolve, how it is going to do a transition in the entire enterprise space. Multimodal Gen AI, now also we have a lot of models, like you have a lot of diffusion models which help in a lot of images creation, etc. But the problem for this at the current moment is, where is the use case? Right? Any startups or any big techs, when they developed a sort of utility, the final aim is to sell that so that they get the adequate revenue out of that. The question comes, where is the use case? So the enterprises like us are thinking around that. We're trying to find it out, that what type of use case can be really solved with the help of the multi-modal. We are doing a lot of POCs with a lot of startups, and hopefully something will come soon. Tiny LLMs, Edge AI, both are not the same, but the purpose is the same, right? How to use your LLMs with the minimal compute, how to probably use that in your own mobile phone. So there are some examples over there So suppose we just upload some of the documents, how that can be summarized and how that can be understood in your mobile phone itself without even touching the cloud. Okay. Then the last part is the Indig GPT, which is your GPT in the vernacular language. And this is going to, again, this will be a very big thing to do. Currently, all the GPTs that you see, obviously, they have a lot of, you can translate from one language to another one, but the models are not yet ready from the LLM point of view to do the Indig GPT. Right? So like enterprise like us, we support all the states, all the languages of India. Okay. Now this type of facility, if it comes, our customer service will be more stronger. It will be more fruitful for the customers. Okay. So I will just conclude over here. I think I have crossed 30 minutes time. To conclude over here, this is something that is when you do any sort of use case, when you solve any sort of use case, just be cognizant of 2-3 facts. First is that what exactly is the trade-off between the compute and the LLMs that you are using? Same T-shirt cannot be applied for everything. Okay, that's the first thing. The second thing, that is that particular use case a proper revenue-generating use case or not, is very much important. We need not use LLM for everything. The traditional AI will be still there, the RPS will be still there, ML will be still there, predictive analytics also will be still there, and the Excel-based computing also will be still there. So define the proper technology for the proper use case, but however, this is the future generative AI and agentic AI. Thank you. Thanks, everyone.